Hello! It's been a while since I've done one of these kind of sit-down videos, but a few days ago I asked you for some video suggestions and asked what you'd like to see on the channel, and someone made the very good suggestion of doing CoasterBot's bucket list roller coasters, and I thought, yeah, no, that sounds like a good idea. I've wanted to do a top 10 video. I did a 2019 top 10 video showing my top 10 coasters back then. And I've wanted to do more, but my coasters haven't changed since. Hopefully they will change at the end of this year, and maybe I'll have a 2021 top 10. But in the meantime, let's look at some roller coasters that I really want to get on in the near future. I've broken it down into 3 categories. Roller coasters I want to get on in the next year or two. Ones I want to get on between 3 and 5 years, so like medium term. And then finally, roller coasters I'd like to get on maybe in 5+ years. So perhaps not right now, but at some point I would like to ride them. So let's start off with short term. Some of these short term coasters might be quite familiar to you. I've been wanting to go to Portaventura to ride Shambhala, the park's B&M hypercoaster, for ages. It's known to be one of Europe's best roller coasters, known to be perhaps one of the best hypercoasters in Europe, and give just generally fantastic airtime. The ride looks awesome. I've done Silverstar at Europa Park, and that's the only other B&M hypercoaster that I've been on. I absolutely adored Silverstar, so there's no reason I shouldn't like Shambhala. You know, it's super high, super fast, the floater airtime looks amazing, and then also it's at Portaventura, a park that looks like it's got loads of other awesome roller coasters and attractions too. So Shambhala, I want to get there in the next year or two. Hopefully, fingers crossed, might go there this year. Who knows though, who knows. Another roller coaster in Europe I'd like to get on in the near future is Fly at Phantasialand. That's the park's new for 2020 double launch flying coaster, the world's first launched flying coaster. Built by Vekoma, the ride sits in its own kind of neat little area called Rookburg, kind of steampunk theme. It looks awesome, just looks completely awesome. Very twisty, intertwined, the launches, they don't look particularly forceful, but being launched in that sit down position, it looks pretty cool to me. I don't think it's perhaps going to be, you know, the most forceful roller coaster or the best pure roller coaster, but that's not what Phantasialand does. Phantasialand build fantastic experiences. Just look at Taron. Taron isn't the best pure roller coaster, but put with the area of Klugheim where you're diving in and out of the terrain, in and out of the buildings, it just adds that extra level of oomph. And yeah, no, Fly, definitely on my bucket list for that reason. Before we leave Europe, I want to talk about 2 more roller coasters. These are new for 2021, new for this year, and that's the 2 Belgium coasters. So first is Conda, an Intamin mega coaster coming to Walibi, Belgium. The ride looks fantastic. It looks like it's really well themed as well. The station building looks amazing. I think Intamin, you know, known to be producing fantastic roller coasters and their mega coasters. I've been on Goliath and Goliath at Walibi Holland. Pure bliss, very, very fun. And this ride looks like the next step up. So Conda, definitely on my list. I'd love to ride it this year maybe. How awesome would that be? But then also there's Ride to Happiness, I think it's called that. And that's at Plopsaland de Pan, also in Belgium. And yeah, that looks like a roller coaster. Ever since Mack Rides debuted Time Traveler, their extreme spinning coaster, so that's a spinning roller coaster with launches and inversions, I've been wanting to ride it. So I was very excited when Plopsa announced that they are building one of their own with more inversions and also a double launch as well, like Time Traveler. So I'd really love to ride that as well. So hopefully, again, fingers crossed, very soon. The final roller coasters that I want to get on in the near future aren't in the UK, aren't in Europe, they're in Japan. I really, really want to go to Japan as soon as possible. I think 1, the country looks awesome and the culture and their cities, I'd love to experience it. But then 2, Japan has some really unique roller coasters, not perhaps ones that are known to be maybe the best, but they're just unique and different, and I love unique roller coasters. So I'm talking the likes of pretty much everything at Fuji-Q Highland. You've got Dodonpa, the world's fastest accelerating roller coaster. You've got Eejanaika, the world's biggest 4D roller coaster, and that looks fantastic. Then you've also got Takabisha, a Gerstlauer Eurofighter with a launch, with lots of inversions. That looks like my kind of coaster as well. And then on top of that you have Fujiyama. Not so excited about that one, but again, it looks fantastic. But Fuji-Q Highland for the reason of mainly Adrianica and even Takabisha. Those two rides, ever since I saw them, are rides that I really want to get on. And that pretty much rounds off the roller coasters that I definitely want to get on in the next year or two. But let's move to longer term. So, 3 to 5 years. What rides do I want to get on in the next 3 to 5 years? First of all, Florida. I want to get on a lot of Floridian roller coasters in the next 3 to 5 years. I'm talking about Velocicoaster, Iron Gwazi. I'm talking Velocicoaster, Hagrid Bike, Iron Gwazi, Mako, Guardians of the Galaxy coasters. I'm having to think of them as I go along. All of those rides to me look fantastic. Some of them, are more immersive and more themed. Others are just kind of like balls to the walls thrills, and that looks awesome. But I feel like there's so many awesome roller coasters already in Florida, but then also coming to Florida very soon. And yeah, I definitely want to. I just want to be able to talk about them. So many people talk about Florida and Floridian rides, the Disney theme parks, the Universal theme parks, Busch Gardens, SeaWorld. Everyone talks about them. Haven't been since I was a kid. I haven't been able to talk about them. I just want to talk to people about Floridian coasters, man. I want to ride Iron Gwazi and go, how cool is Iron Gwazi, So in the future, after the Japan trip, we're heading to Florida. But let's come back to Europe quickly. Another park in Europe that is on the up and up is Energylandia, and they've been building some fantastic rides like Zadra, like Hyperion, and now Abyssus, I think that's how you say it. That's your RMC Hypercoaster, your Intamin Hypercoaster, and then your new Vekoma Launch Coaster. All three look fantastic. Energylandia looks like a park that's got some really quality rides, maybe perhaps more quantity over quality, but still, if you like roller coasters, Energylandia is really quickly becoming one of the places to go for roller coasters in Europe. Yeah, in the short term, medium term, I'd like to go to Energylandia, get on these rides, and who knows, perhaps even by the time I get there, there'll be another coaster to experience. They're already building a mine train, but perhaps there'll be another large-scale roller coaster. But I've heard some really good things about Zadra. That's definitely the one to get on for me. So yeah, Poland. And finally, places I'd like to go medium term is actually a roller coaster that I've already been on, and that's Kanon. Kanon is on my bucket list again. It's currently my favourite roller coaster, my number one roller coaster, but I'd love to go on it again. And this time I'd love to take Zoe to Hansa Park and let her experience Kanon and see what she thinks of it. At the same time, another theme park that's close to Hansa Park in Germany is Heide Park in Germany. And when I went to Heide Park, Colossus, their Intamin prefabricated roller coaster, was closed. And I love prefabs. Been on Boulder at Liseberg, and it's fantastic, so I was gutted to miss out on Colossus. So I'd love to go back to Hansa Park, experience Kanon again, but then also to Heide Park and experience Colossus in the medium term. Finally, what about long term? What am I thinking for the long term? I'm thinking America, but the other side. So I'm thinking X2 and Tatsu at Six Flags Magic Mountain. Those are two roller coasters, particularly X2. There's something about X2, I've seen it so many times, seen it online, seen it in books, seen it everywhere. It's one of those rides that I knew about before I was an enthusiast, and that's really one of the reasons that I want to ride it. Again, I love unique rides, and X2 looks like to be one of the most unique roller coasters there is on, the globe. So yeah, I'd love to go over to California, ride X2, get on Tatsu, another really highly rated B&M flying coaster. And again, the setting of Tatsu, you're flying really high above the landscape, it looks. It looks awesome. So Six Flags Magic Mountain as a whole, so many awesome roller coasters as well. I think it's the most roller coasters in the world. So yeah, if you go there, I'm sure your credit count's gonna skyrocket. On the flip side, perhaps Six Flags Magic Mountain's rival, Cedar Point. And we can't talk about Cedar Point without talking about, the one, we all know the one, Steel Vengeance. Everyone says Steel Vengeance is awesome. It's currently ranked one of the world's best roller coasters in Vote Coasters. That's our great, fantastic roller coaster poll. It's ranked number 1, the best roller coaster in the world. And yeah, I'd love to ride it. I'd love to see if it stood up to my expectations. Allegedly, it's got the most airtime of any roller coaster in the world too. So, I don't know. In some ways, it doesn't really look like my cup of tea, but if so many people are raving about how good a roller coaster is, surely it's got to be good, One ride that does look more like my cup of tea at Cedar Point is Maverick. Now Maverick is the Intamin multi-launch coaster. It kickstarted Intamin's multi-launch phase and then led to rides like Taron, Velocicoaster, Tiger. So Maverick looks whippy, looks forceful, looks intense, looks fun, looks chaotic. All of my type of things. Absolutely love the way it looks. I'd love to ride it. Another park in America that I would like to go to, probably you wouldn't maybe have expected this, Six Flags Great Adventure, for two reasons. One, El Toro, Intamin Prefab. Again, I love them. I want to get on all of them, perhaps. Maybe not T-Express in South Korea, but I'd love to get on El Toro. Everyone says it's fantastic, or most people say it's fantastic. Again, it looks like my type of roller coaster, one that I would really, really enjoy. But then also, I would like to ride Kingda Ka, the world's tallest roller coaster. It looks fantastic. I've heard great things about Front Row on Kingda Ka. I'm sure, you know, sitting on the front, going up that 400-foot, 120-meter tall tower, I'm sure it will provide a fantastic experience and fantastic views. And the final roller coaster that I'd like to get on in the near future, not in the near future, in the future, at some point in my lifetime, is DC Rivals Hypercoaster at Warner Brothers Movie World. Who would have expected Mack Rides to go out and build one of the best hypercoasters in the world? No one. I don't think anyone would have expected DC Rivals to be as good as DC Rivals is. I've heard some fantastic things about that ride. It's got airtime, it's got force, it's got interesting elements. It looks like they took the hypercoaster, they played around with it and made something better. And yeah, no, I'd love to ride it. And also, you can ride it reverse. The back row is actually reversed, so you can go through the whole layout, including the 90-degree drop that twists partway down. You can do that all backwards, and that looks like a dream. So yeah, DC Rivals over in Australia. Absolutely love to ride it, hopefully one day, but it'd just be cool to go to Australia generally. But that's pretty much it. That's just some of the roller coasters that I'd like to get on in the future. Of course, there's rides like Fury 325, like Lightning Rod that I'd love to get on. There's so many awesome roller coasters around the world that I would like to get on. But for me, I don't know, I'm interested in some of the more unique rides around the world, interested in trying something different. And yeah, I think that's really gonna kind of determine where I go in the future. I'm gonna look for innovation, look for unique rides, different rides, and perhaps rides that suit my style more than perhaps what everyone likes, if that makes sense. But let me know, what are your bucket list coasters? I'd love to know them in the comments down below, and please do let me know what you think of my bucket list coasters. Anyway, thank you for watching this one, and we'll see you next time.